Welcome back, Rugby viewers. It's round 2 of the Rugby Championship. My lovely friend Goran Blevi, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great, Gabsy. I'm very jealous of you being in Greece at the moment, especially with this heat wave in Europe. But it's going very well, man. Very happy about the performance from the Springboks, and very shock one down in Wellington. How did you enjoy the rugby?
Yeah, I think if I'm like the New Zealand rugby director, I'll just stop playing in Wellington. I really don't know why they still play there. I think, what is it, 1 win in 7 games now?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not been a happy hunting
Also,
ground.
what a performance from the box. On that note, great. Let's quickly talk about last weekend. What do you make
Mm.
of it? Who was the winners last weekend? Who was the losers? What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think let's start with the losers, in my opinion, right? Number one, I think Australian rugby in general. There's deeper problems there. It's not just a one-out performance that is the issue. So I think it's not something Joe Smith can change. They have a British and Irish Lions tour coming up next year. They've got the Rugby World Cup, and at the moment, I know it's still very early, but they really look far, far behind to put up like a proud performance, I would say. So I think Australian rugby, one of the losers. Then, sorry to
I
say
mean,
this for the
just
Kiwi
ju-
fan.
just a quick second there. Do you think that is why? I mean, we're recording on a Tuesday evening. You think that's why RASSIE Erasmus announced this team for them to get like a bit of a confidence booster and maybe have a tight game this weekend?
I think okay. Let's get into
Let's
the
okay. Let's
selection
talk
a little
about
bit
that
later. That
later.
is a
Let's talk.
very, very fair question. But we don't know what's going on in Ross's mind. Let's be honest. Okay.
Yeah.
The next
Winners.
loser in my
Oh,
no,
next
I
loser.
still I still need to single out Arte Savia now with his ridiculous standards. All right. It is fair to make him a loser this weekend. He was the captain of the All Blacks in a very poor performance against Argentina. I think he didn't lead very well. He didn't play very well. So I think between him and coach fantastic that was supposed to replace Ian Foster and everything was going to go well, Scott Robinson, I think between the two of them, they need to do some explaining. So I think in
Yeah.
that point,
No,
the winners then Gabsy.
two very fair points. I just want to add on it, guy. It's a beginning. It's a beginning for both of them of a rebuilding phase. So let's just give them
It's
some,
true,
give them a
but
break.
it's just the
Give them some
intent.
mercy.
I would have loved just to see some hunger at least, but
Yeah.
they got blown off the park in some sense, by the Argentinians. Which brings me to the winners. Felipe Contapone, what a legend. I think not only in his playing career, but this was a great performance that he got out of a very passionate Argentinian outfit, as well as that back row from the Argentinians.
Yeah.
Led by Pablo Matera. There was a lot
Absolute
of
animal. He's an
there was a lot of
animal.
fights from that back row, and they really put the ABs down. I think the three of them performed very well. The next winners, Gabsy, who you would have to say is Rassie Erasmus and his coaching staff. Innovation from the Springboks, making them a kind of a formidable, scary team to compete with, showing different pictures with their innovation to keep
Yeah.
the opposing team guessing, as well as building great depth. And then the other winner would be Sasha, I think, still showing us that even though he makes mistakes on the field, he really just comes back and he's a confidence player and he goes out and so he hasn't had a bad game yet. So Gabsy, that is a quick
Recap.
cover summary recap of this weekend's rugby. But
No,
okay,
100%.
nevertheless, let me throw it a bit towards your side. Now, Rassie Rasmussen, we're going to throw the Springbok selection on the screen here. He made 10 changes to this side, right? What I know it's a very difficult question, but what is Rassie Erasmus thinking with this selection? Is he crazy? Is he
Um,
genius? And how important is it winning this Rugby World Championship
I know you know that me and Rassi chat every night on WhatsApp, and
on
it's
the
why you throw
regular?
me,
That's why
that's
you
why
have
you
this
throw me these
question.
questions. But no, I love the question because I think Rassi has made it very clear pre-Rugby Championship. The championship is important for two reasons. Obviously, you want to win it, but they also want to start building depth for the next Rugby World Cup, which is in Australia. And I think now it's for them crucial to find that balance of obviously finding depth, but also winning the championship. For me personally, as Gabriel, pundit from the Rugby Hub, I would like to
Extraordinary.
see, yeah, the Springboks win the Rugby Championship. That needs to be the priority number one. Let's go and
Yeah.
win the championship, remain at the number one position in the world. That should be the number one priority. The question that I do have for our viewers and our beloved rugby followers, is this team a team that could beat Australia in Australia? Is there too much inexperience in there? I mean, like you said, 10 changes. I mean, it's the second time we see Wessels and Grobbies starting at 1 and 2. The last time they played together, that was against Portugal. However, I mean, let's not forget, I think the Wallabies also really struggled against Portugal in the World Cup. So I don't really know what to make of this Wallaby side. So it could be a great time to test these players. And that's probably what they're doing right now. I mean, if you then go further, what the hell are we doing with Andre Pollard and Manny Lebok on the bench? I'm sure there's a plan for that. And I know Andre Esterhuizen is still banned, so he can't play. I would have loved to see him in the mix. But now you've got at 12, Creel at 13. I think it's the first time they, pairing up for the box or probably ever in center.
Yeah.
And then you've got two specialist fly-offs on the bench, I almost feel like I sound like Sway's the brain here because I'm sure he's also questioning this. I'm just curious to know, what are you going to start playing Andre now at 12 at this stage? Why? You've got Andre Esterhuizen, you've got Damon de Allende, you've got Sasha, you've got Damon Willem, so all of them covering 12 as well. Or is Manny Lebok going to play at 15? I'm just really bamboozled with that one. I would really like to know what
But we
you guys
saw.
think as well. Yeah.
I wonder, Gabsy, because we saw something similar in the World Cup. At one stage, we had like 3 scrum halves on the field at the same time. And you see like players changing in and out. And I think that is a strategy towards being able to play a 6-2 bench with the forwards or a 7-1 is when you have players covering multiple positions in the back line.
Yeah, no,
And
definitely.
this is it's a question that I asked you. The only person I think that you speak to more than RASSIE is with myself. And I asked you this question. I said, how do you make a Springbok team which is unique winning point, if you want to put it that way? What makes them the best is the fact that they have great depth. Their first team, second team, and third team are almost all interchangeable, and that could start. Now, how do you get that to win on then a consecutive basis? And
Well,
I
that
think
will
that
show
is what
this
Russ is
weekend at
doing
least.
here.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that has to show this weekend. And I mean, because for me, that's a very difficult question to answer. I don't think we've got the answer to that one just yet. I do think what we're seeing here is also like I'm getting upset about these things because I don't understand it. But in the same breath, I know Dr. Erasmus has a plan and I always trust in his plan. But I do also think one thing is they're really training like the versatility of players, playing them in different positions. This we've seen again, like you said, with having 3 scrum offs at one stage on the field. Now, here again, having 2 fly offs on the bench, that one of them, or including the starting fly off, like Sasha in this case, one of them will 100% be out of position on the day. But yeah, I mean, that's again, for me, just to get back to the original question, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen this weekend. For me, if we don't win this weekend, we failed. Because for us to succeed at our
Absolutely.
plan and being successful, we need to take maximum points against Australia and Perth. To go to South Africa, play the All Blacks 2 times at home with 10 points on the log, being up there as far as possible, and with our best possible team. I'm not saying this is a bad team. I'm just saying if we select like a safe team that we know can go out, get maximum points, we should be, going into this weekend, take 5 points, easy game. I don't know if that's possible with this team. I would hope so.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think
Australia is
I
down.
think
And
FC,
yeah, it's a good team still.
it's a great team, and let's not forget that New Zealand, the fact that they lost this weekend a home game against Argentina, that makes their competition look much different and their preparations. And it's an opportunity for the Springboks. And I hope, as you mentioned, that there's a real plan with this team to perform. And maybe one last thing to add, then the Springboks really in history has struggled to on that second game. They beat Ireland very well. Second game, they lost. They beat New Zealand in the Rugby Championship extremely well at Mbombela, and then lost against them at Ellis Park the next week.
I mean,
We
that game
played
was singled out to one player, in my opinion. I'm not going to throw names
okay,
here,
but
but Dweba had a very rough one. I didn't want to single out players, but
okay, but regardless, and I think maybe this is a time to understand that maybe getting new players in and with a lot of energy would actually make then the difference to come up for, especially when you're emotionally fatigued from going through the match day or the
yeah.
match week and the setup and so on. Nevertheless, Gabsy, let's take a quick step back. We look at this team. Okay. There's a few changes. You mentioned Jan Hendrik Wessels, Johan Grobler, and Thomas de Toy. Now, Thomas de Toy
Carry on.
was the
Salomon Murat, Ruan Orkia, all very inexperienced.
all very, yeah, that's true. All very inexperienced. Salman Murad being captain here. Thomas de Toy has been performing extremely well in the Premiership. I think he was the could have been the player of the season over there. So I think he deserves this chance, and I think he's going to play very well. But the rest, as you mentioned, Johan Grobler, fantastic season at the Bulls. Jan Hendrik Wessels, same thing. Ruan Norkia, same thing. So there's a lot of Bulls players, and let's not forget about Marco van Storen, Bulls player, Ulrich Lowe, Bulls player.
Bulls player.
So maybe this has got to do also with, these players understand each other, they know each other, they know what to expect from one another, and the balance
And
between the forwards is maybe
yeah,
also something that.
if I may ask also, if I may add on that, I think it's also probably a bit of reward. You know, we want to reward players for playing phenomenal seasons. The Bulls has been the standout team. So I do think it's also RASSIE saying, listen, guys, I'm not going to give you guys 100 chances, but here's another massive opportunity to prove to me you are the guys that I want to take to the next World Cup. So I do like what he's doing. I'm just questioning whether or not this team is good enough to bring home the extra 5 points, get us on 10 points, and bring those 10 points back to South Africa. But sorry, I didn't want to
It's a
interrupt you. I
good
mean,
point.
yeah.
No. It's a good point. But in the end of the day, I think, Ulrich Lowe had a fantastic outing last week. He just looks like a guy that carries hard. He does the hard yards, strong tackler as well. And he's got a good balance with Peter Steff and Sia there. And we have Peter Steff the toy again. And I think with him there, I just feel a lot more
Yeah, Sia regularly. Sia's getting a rest on this one, but
regularly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like otherwise, also just worth mentioning, of course. I do think also let's not forget we're going back to South Africa playing the All Blacks back to back. So rotation was always going to be part of the plan, yeah. But it's just a lot of rotation at this stage.
Yeah.
If we go to the back line, obviously also, Lucanio Arm coming in at 12, obviously Andre Esterhuizen being banned. Makazolo Mapimpi, I'm really hoping for round 3 against Kurabetti. I know Kurabetti is available as far as I know. So that
He's
would be a
probably going
massive
to
round
play.
3. Yeah, and then obviously, Apalele Fasi getting another go at 15. Chesley Colby obviously retaining his jersey. One of the few along with Sasha and JC. And then obviously, don't forget, we've got a ton of World Cup winners on the bench. So
Yeah, that's true.
if push comes to shove, you can put on Malcolm Marx, Oxenche, Vincent Koch, Eben Etzebeth, Kwaga Smith,
Yeah,
Grant Williams, Andre Pollard, Manny Lebok. So there is
two
a
flyers.
load of experience on the bench. But Guri, I
Yeah.
mean, let's wrap this one up in a direction. What do you
Yeah.
think these boys can do this weekend? Do you think they could go and beat Australia? I don't want to know yes or no win. Can they win with a bonus point in Perth?
I think it's possible, but we should know. Well, and also they're playing in Perth, which is actually another home game for the Springboks, seeing that there's so many South Africans.
I heard it's called Perth now.
But with this group of players, I think they're going to put up their hand. But is the experience going to be enough? Hopefully, with the bench, yes. I think they can bag a bonus point, but we should not underestimate the fact that Australia and the Wallabies are going to come out. So they understand now the physical challenge that is expected to win a Springboks team. And I think they're going to come up with that mindset. So I wouldn't be too complacent about this weekend. So I think it's going to be a tighter game, but a win nonetheless.
All right.
Yourself?
100% with you on that one. I think it's going to be a tighter game. I genuinely hope they do enough to get the bonus point as well. Otherwise, I'll be quite upset. I mean, obviously, we can also be just really proud if these boys go and actually get the W away from home. Actually, the last time we've beaten Australia Yeah, the last time we've beat Australia 4 games straight was 2012, 2013, so it's quite a long time ago. We are on
Yeah.
a three-game running streak right now. So yeah, let's see. Close game. Quickly to just wrap it up, what do you make this weekend? I mean, for me personally, I think the All Blacks will bounce back. We've just seen it over the years.
It's
I
at
don't know if,
Eden Park as well.
yeah,
I mean, this is a fortress. This is non-negotiable, this win for them. So I think the All Blacks will fix their mistakes and then hopefully be Orisavia would come out a little bit more fiery. Yeah.
yeah, you're really quite angry with Audi there, it seems. All
I
right,
am.
guys. Well, listen, let us know what you guys make of this team. What do you think is going to happen this weekend? Can the All Blacks turn it around? Will the Boks go with their 10 changes and bring us back the 10 points we expect? And yeah, just thank you so much for the continuous support. Please hit that subscribe and like and share with friends and family. And thank you so much for joining.
Cheers, guys.